What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. Week 9 right around the corner. Maybe you have some tough decisions at the wide receiver position. We're talking about our top 30 here for Week 9 right now. All right, number 1, DeAndre Hopkins, Houston Texans with a matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. DeAndre Hopkins is starting to get hot here second half of the season. Back-to-back weeks here with some solid numbers and definitely a guy that you need to have in your lineup. A huge ceiling this week. Got DeAndre Hopkins, number 1. Number 2, Amari Cooper, Dallas Cowboys. I expect them to target Amari deep down the field in this matchup against the New York Giants. His ceiling is high also. Got him at number 2. Number 3, it's going to be Tyler Lockett of the Seattle Seahawks. They have a matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the worst secondaries in all of football. Look for a lot of Tyler Lockett in Week 9. Number 4, Kenny Golladay, Detroit Lions. Not much of a running game in Detroit, which works out perfectly because it's tough to run on the Oakland Raiders. A lot easier to throw on them. Kenny Golladay, the more safer option in the passing game there for Detroit. Got him all the way up at wide receiver 4. 5 and 6 going to be Godwin and Evans from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of people think that's too high for both of these guys, but listen, the ceiling for both of these guys is absolutely ridiculous. They can single-handedly win you your fantasy matchup all by themselves. They need to try to find a way to get them both involved on a weekly basis, but both of these guys should be mainstays in your lineup because, like I said, the point total that they're capable of scoring, off the charts. Number 7, Julian Edelman, which is really high for Julian Edelman, but this guy just continues to be Mr. Consistent here for the New England Patriots. Now they have a matchup Sunday Night Football against the Baltimore Ravens. Not an easy matchup by any means, but when it comes to this offense and Julian Edelman, they find ways to get him the ball in space. He's definitely one of the guys who's going to see the bulk of the targets in this offense. Yes, Mohamed Sanu may see a little bit of a bigger role this week. Julian Edelman, though, the safety blanket for Tom Brady, and definitely somebody who you should have in your lineup on a weekly basis. A solid high-end wide receiver 2 weekly. This week, though, has that wide receiver 1 upside. Number 8 is going to be Tyreek Hill, Kansas City Chiefs. Difficult matchup going up against the Minnesota Vikings, but Tyreek Hill is not one of those guys that needs to see huge volume to produce a solid fantasy day. He can give you a solid day with just one play. He has that game-breaking speed. Got him all the way up at number 8. Number 9, somebody who he's playing in that game. Stephon Diggs been playing great as of late, mostly because of the injury to Adam Thielen. Diggs is getting more looks. There's a chance that Thielen comes back this week, but Diggs now is really gotten some momentum in this offense, and I expect them to continue to throw the ball in Minnesota and keep both these guys involved. Got Diggs all the way up at 9. Number 10, somebody who I really like this week, and not a lot of people really do. It's Allen Robinson of the Chicago Bears with a matchup going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, yes, the Eagles secondary has been laughable at best here to start the season, and they are going to start improving here with some of these guys coming back from injuries. However, Allen Robinson has been a very consistent option in this offense. The ceiling is high in a game in which they're going to have to rely more on throwing the ball because the Eagles' run defense is so good. Got Allen Robinson all the way at number 10. Number 11, Keenan Allen, Los Angeles Chargers. They have a home game against the Packers, and I know he's been a disappointment here as of late, but the double-digit targets on a weekly basis are going to be there this week. And they really need to get this offense going with the Chargers. If they expect to win any more ball games, at least back-to-back or continually here in 2019, Keenan Allen and Melvin Gordon are 2 names that they really need to get going. I have Keenan Allen all the way up at number 11. Number 12 is going to be DJ Chark, somebody who we need to pay attention to. It sounds like he may be okay for this weekend, but definitely a name to pay attention to. Going up against the Houston Texans, a great matchup. DJ Chark has that touchdown upside. Now, a lot of people get bent out of shape because I say he's touchdown dependent, and he is. And there's nothing wrong with that. People act like that is like the curse of all wide receivers being labeled as touchdown dependent. It's really not, because his touchdown upside is high. He just is going to hurt your fantasy team if he doesn't score. This matchup is a great matchup for him. As long as he's 100% healthy, good to go. Got DJ Chark, number 12. Number 13 is going to be Adam Thielen, Minnesota Vikings, the teammate there of Stephon Diggs, going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are continuing to move the ball down the field, even though there is no Patrick Mahomes. If that's the case, this game could turn into a back-and-forth type of match where they're going to have to throw the ball in Minnesota. Adam Thielen, if he's 100%, another solid play here this week in Week 9. Got him at wide receiver 13. Number 14 is Juju Smith-Schuster, Pittsburgh Steelers. They're playing at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Not the easiest of matchups for Juju, but they're starting to move the ball deeper down the field with Mason Rudolph. He's starting to regain some of that confidence, and we already know that Juju has that big playability. Got him at number 14. Number 15, Michael Gallup, Dallas Cowboys. Already talked about this matchup going up against the New York Giants. If extra defensive attention is being paid to Amari Cooper and in the backfield to Zeke Elliott, Michael Gallup should be the main beneficiary of that. Have him all the way up at wide receiver 15. Number 16 is going to be Robbie Anderson of the New York Jets, and such a great matchup going up against the Miami Dolphins, who give up so many big plays to opposing wide receivers. It's hard not to want to throw Robbie Anderson into your lineup. Another one of these names who we don't talk about a whole lot because he is very much big play dependent, but I can see the big play possibilities this week. Got him all the way up at number 16. Number 17, DK Metcalf, Seattle Seahawks, going up against that Tampa Bay secondary that we talked about with Tyler Lockett. Great matchup for DK Metcalf, and his touchdown upside is increasing by the week. Definitely somebody who's starting to creep into that easy wide receiver to flex territory, depending on your league size. That upside is there. Got him at wide receiver 17. 18. It's going to be Courtland Sutton of the Denver Broncos, and I kind of struggle with this one a little bit because there's a new quarterback in Denver. Joe Flacco will not be there. Brandon Allen's the quarterback, and what do we see out of Courtland Sutton after this quarterback change? There's a good chance that he's still highly targeted in this offense and gives him that safe floor on a weekly basis. It's not like Joe Flacco was this elite quarterback just feeding the ball to Courtland Sutton. I don't think it hurts him that much, but it's still something I want to see before I move him any higher. Right now, Courtland Sutton, number 18. 19, John Brown, Buffalo Bills, with a great matchup going up against the Washington Redskins. John Brown has started to lose some of that consistency that we really liked at the beginning of the year. It's dropped him down the rankings, but this is a great matchup going up against a very poor secondary of the Washington Redskins. And even though John Brown has started to lack that consistency, he's still one big play away from giving you a solid fantasy day as a low-end wide receiver 2. Got him at 19. 20 is going to be Tyrell Williams, Oakland Raiders, with a matchup going up against the Detroit Lions. In every single game that Tyrell Williams has played this year, he scored a touchdown. No, that pace is not sustainable. However, there's not a whole lot of other options in Oakland to really throw the ball, and Detroit is able to move the ball down the field and put the ball in the end zone. That's going to force Oakland to continue to throw the ball, which is a great opportunity for Tyrell Williams. Not a whole lot of other options outside of Darren Waller, and with that touchdown upside, makes Tyrell Williams a solid wide receiver 2. Got him right now, wide receiver 20. 21, it's going to be Golden Tate of the New York Giants going up against the Dallas Cowboys. And what makes Tate a safe wide receiver 2 on a weekly basis is how they move him around the field. He's not just lining up outside every play. He's moving between outside and the slot, and it's getting him that ball in space, and that's where he can really make things happen. As a solid floor play here, got him at wide receiver 21. 22 is Alshon Jeffrey, Philadelphia Eagles, going up against the Chicago Bears. A little bit of a revenge game against his prior team. However, he played them last year in the playoffs, had himself a very solid day, and gave him that solid wide receiver 2 range. Right now, Alshon Jeffrey got him at wide receiver 22. 23 is Marvin Jones, Detroit Lions. We already talked about this matchup against the Oakland Raiders. A lot easier to throw on Oakland, and Marvin Jones may be more boom or bust, less consistent than Kenny Golladay. That's the reason why he's a little bit farther down in these rankings. However, the ceiling is still there, just not the consistency. Got him down at 23. 24 is going to be Jarvis Landry, Cleveland Browns, and that's a little crazy for some people to see him that high. However, in this matchup, Odell Beckham is going to be locked up with Chris Harris. If Chris Harris can remove Odell Beckham from this game plan, we could see a lot more targets going the way of Jarvis Landry. In a PPR setting, which these rankings are, half-point PPR, Jarvis Landry may be the safer play this week going up against the Denver Broncos, who are not, impossible to throw against. However, they do have that ability to take away their top wide receivers, which means Odell Beckham could struggle. We could see more Jarvis Landry. Got him right now, wide receiver 24. 25, DJ Moore, Carolina Panthers, a tough matchup going up against the Tennessee Titans, but DJ Moore still has that flex floor. Why? It's because the target share is still there. He's going to go out there and get between 8 and 12 targets on a weekly basis, and that opportunity to score is still going to be there. He's a big play waiting to happen. He's been contained here as of late, and it's only a matter of time before he breaks out. I like the matchup for him this week going up against Tennessee. Got him at wide receiver 25. 26, Deontay Johnson, Pittsburgh Steelers, going up against that Indianapolis Colts team that we talked about a little bit earlier. Not the easiest of matchups. However, the defense is going to focus its attention not only in the backfield, but also to Juju. Who's that going to leave open? Deontay Johnson, who has clearly taken over the number 2 wide receiver role in this offense, and somebody that Mason Rudolph looks for down the field in big play opportunities. Got him right now, wide receiver 26. 27, Mike Williams of the Los Angeles Chargers, going up against the Green Bay Packers. What I don't like for Mike Williams is he's starting to lose the targets that he saw just a few weeks ago. He was up into those double-digit target ranges, but now it's starting to slip back down. They do need to get this run game going, and that's going to limit the upside of Mike Williams, even though this is a game in which they're going to have to throw the ball to stay competitive. Mike Williams all the way down, wide receiver 27. 28, talked about him just a few minutes ago, Odell Beckham Jr. It is a very tough matchup going up against Chris Harris, who has been shutting down wide receiver 1s all year long. It's going to be a tough day for Odell Beckham. This is not a Browns offense that is cruising right now by any means. And with a struggling offense going up against a lockdown defender, the risk is really going to be there this week for Odell Beckham Jr. Got him at wide receiver 28. 29, Danny Amendola, who's absolutely been killing it as of lately, especially in PPR leagues. 200 yards over his last 2 weeks combined is definitely enough to get him here into the top 30. In a game in which we know they're going to throw the ball because there isn't much of a running game in Detroit, Danny Amendola, another one of those safe floor plays, especially in PPR leagues, got him at wide receiver 29. 30, this is where we're going to find Curtis Samuel, and his situation is very, very similar to DJ Moore. He's going to go out there and get you close to 8 to 10 targets on a weekly basis, and if they can get him the ball in space in this matchup, he's definitely somebody who can find the end zone this week going up against Tennessee. Got him at wide receiver 30. All right, those are my top 30 wide receivers here, Week 9 fantasy football. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Hopefully this helps set those lineups for Week 9. A lot of difficult decisions because there's a lot of studs that are on bye week this week, and we're trying to get through bye week hell. Hopefully this helps you out a little bit. Everybody have a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and we'll talk to you later.